Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there exists a state of cosmic civil war. A brave alliance of underground freedom fighters has challenged the tyranny and oppression of the awesome galactic empire. This is their story. And that is how Marvel Comics began every one of their 107 issues of their original Star Wars comic series. Hey everyone! I am Richard Wolosky, and I want to welcome you to
Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics!
I am here to take you through these classic stories, share memories of reading these comics as a kid, and to get you caught up with these characters and situations that every Star Wars fan must know. And because, as we've noted before, there are several connections and parallels to the current films and comics and novels. And did you think the line, "It's a trap," from Return of the Jedi began in Return of the Jedi? Well, think again. Now, in this episode, we're going to break down issue 34, Thunder in the Stars, which, by the way, is the name of the next Thor movie.
It's not a name of a Las Vegas show?
No.
Okay,
No,
just checking.
No. It's the name of issue 34. And now, here with me is my sweetie wife, Sarah, who is now only 12 issues away from being born when Thunder in the Stars was released in 1979.
That is exciting, because as we keep reminding everyone, I was born between issues 47 and 48 of the classic Marvel Star Wars comics.
Now, what do those issues look like? So Sarah was not born when this issue came out, but she was born when this issue came out, number 48. So right between those two issues.
Look at how pretty. It's got Leia on it. Leia fighting Vader? Mm-hmm. Amazing. Mm-hmm. So very exciting, and you may be wondering why I get to touch these right now, but you'll figure it out a little later.
She doesn't get to touch this one. No, you have your own funny books.
All right. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on this podcast series where we break down each issue of the classic Marvel Star Wars comic series that ran from 1977 to 1986. And now I, being 12 years younger than Richard, am reading this series for the very first time. All of these comics, it's my first time, and I'm sharing my opinions, my first time read through these with these 21st century eyes, as well as some of my artistic viewpoints. So now we are excited to get into
Thunder in the Stars!
But first, I'm going to give you a quick recap of the previous issue 33, Saber Clash. As the Millennium Falcon and her crew depart Tatooine, they recognize a House of Tagge mining explorer readying to jump to hyperspace. The rebels follow them to the planet Junction, where the Tagge ship meets with a Star Destroyer, and they are transferring the Omega Frost technology that freezes everything. Luke Skywalker infiltrates the transfer crew and is captured. Han Solo races the Falcon to the rebel base at Yavin 4 to let them know that the Empire plans to use their Omega Frost weapon against the critical planet of Junction, and that Luke has been captured. Back on Tagge's mining explorer, Luke engages in a lightsaber duel with Baron Tagge, who soon realizes that the youth has more ability than he expected. Luke's skill has put the Baron in a state of shock.
Oh, yes, he has. Now, in Thunder in the Stars... Why can't I say that without laughing?
Because it sounds like Thunder from Down Under.
It sounds like a new Thor. What is the name of the Thor?
Oh,
title?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder,
Thor,
thank you.
Love and Thunder.
Thank you. Now, in Thunder in the Stars, Baron Orman Tagge is kept under heavy sedation on the orders of his brother Silas. Meanwhile, Han Solo is leading the rebel fleet to the planet Junction under the impression that the Omega Frost is going to be unleashed on the rebel supply planet. But that was a ruse. In reality, the weapon is targeting the Junction asteroid corridor just as the rebel fleet will pass right through it. Now, Luke had escaped in a TIE fighter right after his battle with Orman Tagge, but the ship has been sabotaged and he is forced to abandon it right before it crashes into one of the asteroids. with no way to warn his rebel friends that they are entering a trap.
It's a trap!
He finds and destroys one of the towers, which generates the Omega Frost effect just as the rebel fleet will enter the weapon's range.
Bam! This is an exciting issue, and Thunder in the Stars was released on January 22nd, 1980. It's written by Archie Goodwin. Artwork is by Carmine Infantino, Bob Wyacek, and Petra Goldberg. The cover art is by Carmine Infantino and Bob Wyacek, and the editors are Jim Shooter and Archie Goodwin.
All right, now let's go over this cover. Lots to unpack here.
To the pictures.
All right, Luke Skywalker in a yellow hazmat Walter White suit. He's brandishing a white lightsaber and stands heroically on a moon surface. But later on we find out it's an asteroid surface. He looks up to see the Millennium Falcon and several rebel ships flying toward an explosion. Luke says, "No! Han's leading the rebel fleet into a trap and stuck on this asteroid. I can't warn him." Thunder in the Stars.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to go over your thoughts. So if you're watching right now live, please put your thoughts here in the comments. But Richard, let's get your opinions on this cover first.
Wow, I love this cover. Even as a kid, I love this color. The pink and the purple really drew me in. And these colors were used a lot for boys' toys in the packaging in the 1970s.
Really?
Not sure why. Never really thought twice about it, but a lot of the Batman toys had pink packaging, pink cardstock.
Interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of the covers, like this one over here, issue 48. Go ahead and show them that.
Yeah.
Also pink and purple.
Very much so.
So yeah, these colors just drew me in, and as a little boy, most boys don't say I want pink and purple. That draws me in.
Right.
But this right here, it did it for me. And to have Luke with his lightsaber on a moon or an asteroid, and the whole rebel fleet flying toward this explosion, this had a 1-2 punch of lots of action and lots of excitement.
Nice.
So how about you? What did you think of this cover?
Okay. So I see some of your comments already, and we're going to get to those, Skywalkers. Now, my thoughts on this cover, honestly, I wasn't too impressed. It was the opposite.
Did the pink and purple turn you off?
No, you know what? I was looking at the images on there, and we only have the one character, Luke, and he's a little small, honestly, for what we see here. And I feel like because of the last issue featured Luke in this like yellow hazmat suit, I felt like this was more a panel and not a cover art. So it looked more like a panel from the previous issue, not cover material, and it even has the word bubbles like a panel would, and not a narration or a title card. So to me, it fell a little flat, and also, even though Luke is pretty prominent, he's not the main focus because you also have this explosion, you have the Falcon streaking across, and you have Luke with his lightsaber, and all three are kind of, they're fighting with my eye for attention. So I feel like this cover needed more characters on it to bring me in, because ships aren't my thing, and half this cover was ships.
I totally disagree with everything you just said.
I know, it's fine.
That's why it's your opinion.
Exactly. It's fine. And I do want to go over some of these comments here.
In the Sky Chat.
In the Sky Chats.
Then we'll go over the Facebook comments.
Yes. So Christina Riley, though, is saying, "Thank you for this. I always wanted to do a show on each comic."
Well,
Yay! Christina, you got a lot of backlog.
Yeah. But you know what? That's okay. We did it. Check.
And she loves the cover. That's awesome. All right, Corwin of Amber is asking, is that lightsaber serrated? I don't know.
It looks like it has a lot of jagged teeth on it.
It does look a little odd. And let's see, Corwin of Amber also says, it would be interesting to talk to a colorist from that era. I wonder if pink and purple were somehow cheaper to use. Oh. I would think if anything, it's to draw people in.
Right.
Like not necessarily cheaper. I know it's cheaper to use just the colors that they were using, right? Like there's only a certain amount of colors that they use in these comics because of the printing process.
Yeah, there's some correlation between those colors and boys' attention. Because once again, I had a lot of Batman toys that came in pink packaging.
I can see purple and yellow, but not pink.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. All right, let's get on that for next time.
Yeah.
All right, now let's read the Facebook comments. As always, we put up the cover in our Facebook group and ask all the Skywalkers, go to it. What do you see? What are your comments? So Meredith Duckworth, she says that lightsaber has unstable saber vibes. Also, look at all the different ships.
So apparently Meredith likes ships. Courtney Turkel says, oh, the Back to the Future space suits are back. And also love the purple color of that planet.
There you go.
Wow, everyone's loving this cover. Why am I the hater here? I'm the hater today.
I don't know. Would you get on board with us? Rex Gordon says, love this cover. Different ships, and you see the Falcon looking all epic. Eric Unkenhout, he says, this has got classic Buck Rogers written all over it. Love it.
Wow.
And then Eric writes, how come Sarah doesn't love it?
He did not.
Why is she the odd girl out?
I don't know.
He didn't write that.
Well, Reynold Gobet says, looks like Luke's going to be trimming those Drengers with an electric hedge trimmer. So what?
I'm not sure what a
Drengir is from the High Republic novels. They're the plants that are the evil plants.
Gotcha. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Also in the High Republic comics.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
It does look like a hedge trimmer.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right. And Patrick Izzo says, is Luke wielding a lightsaber or a pipe cleaner? Why not? Why can't it be both?
Right. All right, hold on. Christina's asking the question, who is the artist? For the cover art is by Carmine Infantino and Bob Wyacek.
Get him on the horn.
Yes.
All right, now let's move on to the actual issue.
Okay.
So, Sarah, what are your initial thoughts of Thunder in the Stars?
Okay, so I feel like this was a nice, simple plot again. They've had a couple of these issues in a row. You have bad guys that are trying to do things in relation to Vader, but you don't have Vader himself because they had to be very careful not to
overuse him.
Exactly. So you also have good guys that are trying to do the right thing, and this mirrors Empire Strikes Back a little bit in that Luke is on his own path versus the other characters are together in their cockpit. Like, I had very much, it begins with this Empire Strikes Back cockpit moment, really. Mm-hmm. And then Luke is on his own, doing his own thing, and eventually saving his friends. So I did like that parallel.
Yeah.
That's a good word for that.
I can see that parallel.
Mm-hmm. And once again, simple, not too many characters to keep track of, so it's easy. And you even have a tiny bit of romance.
Little tiny bit.
Yeah. So I liked this issue overall. It did not blow me away, but it was definitely a solid storyline.
All right. I really love this issue. It was fun. It was exciting. It had a good conclusion to the Baron Tagge Omega Frost storyline. And I really hope they continue it in future issues. I think this is a great weapon, something other than a ship or a battle station that can blow up planets and other ships. This is taking it to a whole new level. So I like the thinking outside of a box when it comes to weaponry. Mm. And the Baron, I think, is a very good character, but unfortunately, he's not used in this issue. He's unconscious the whole issue.
Yeah.
But we do get to see his devious brother, Silas. Did we ever say Silas or Silas?
I would say Silas.
Silas. All right. We get to see Silas's devious nature, and when it comes to wanting to usurp his brother and what he's trying to do with the Emperor, because Baron Tagge, all he wants to do is replace Darth Vader as the Emperor's right-hand man. Well, now here comes Silas. He wants to take over that position from his brother, even though his brother doesn't have that position yet. But he's got his plan in motion. And I love this great 70s style artwork. And I want to see the reference picture the artists were using when illustrating Princess Leia. I'm not sure that was Carrie Fisher.
You mean her body shape?
Yes. Certain parts of her body shape.
I know. I think In the Marvel offices, they must have like your classic manly shape, your classic female shape, and they just like drew from those.
Yeah, they did. All right, now Sarah, let's get into the story.
Here we go.
The story opens with Han, Leia, and Chewie in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. And already, Leia she's nagging at Han.
Yes. Han Solo, is this the best you can do? I thought this ship was fast. A world is at stake, and it's one of the Alliance's prime source of supplies.
And Han says, and Luke Skywalker has his life on the line. All right, so are we all caught up now?
I think that makes sense.
They make sure everyone's caught up with where the story's going.
Yes. But do you see what I mean by this classic... What?
Oh, right in the center of the page.
Oh, well, I wasn't looking at that. But do you see what I mean by this classic cockpit shot? It looks like it's out of Empire Strikes Back. You know, Leia's leaning over the chair, talking to Han. Chewbacca's in the co-pilot seat. This, to me, would have made a better cover.
I would disagree.
There's some purple in there.
I would, yeah.
What about that right in the middle? Leia's,
yeah, okay. All right, so let's explain the splash page, please.
This one or the next one?
This is
okay.
the splash page here, which I need some defining. Let's start with Leia.
Okay. So Leia here, she's leaning over the seat, leaning over Han's seat, and yeah, she's got some big breasts. I'll just say she's got some big yabos, to use a hocus pocus term.
Yeah. And once again, it's right in the center of the page.
Corwin of Amber, is that a fan service view of Leia?
Well, they are trying to appeal to little boys who are getting older.
Right.
Okay, so much to go on, especially her eyebrows. But you know what? I didn't even notice her eyebrows until now.
Jeez.
They have that Submariner namer arch to them.
Well, even her whole face shape is not Carrie Fisher's face, you know? It's a little ridiculous.
All right. Now let's talk about Han Solo here. He's got this Saturday Night Fever collar. Once again, what are they using for reference? He doesn't have a collar. That's a 70s collar. John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, his collar wasn't that big. All right, now Chewbacca.
Well,
where'd they go right with him? He's got a furry face.
His bandolier.
He's got a furry face.
Oh, that's true. That's right, because when it's not furry, it's a tan color, right?
Yeah, like flesh color.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, now from there, Han says, I'm not used to playing leader for a flock of rebel war wagons. But you know that the dialogue has never been better. We cut to the Falcon leading several blockade runners through space and towards the asteroid corridor.
Before we do that, though, I have to make note of one of Han's lines, though. Here, can I do this? I'm sorry. I have to. Let's move into Han. So, Leia has just admonished Han about Luke, right? So Han says, Luke Skywalker has his life on the line. I understand all that, your worshipfulness. But this is a bit trickier than my run-of-the-mill spice-smuggling razzle-dazzle.
Give us your old razzle-dazzle. Come on, wait, you know we're all singing that.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. The razzle-dazzle.
I love it. Alexis Gutierrez?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry if I butchered your name. She is joining us from Mexico.
Oh, welcome, Alexis. Yay.
Gutierrez. Well, welcome to the party, says Pierre.
Cool. All right, now back to the Falcon leading several blockade runners through space and towards the asteroid corridor.
So cutting from Han and Leia nagging back and forth at each other, we then cut to R2 and 3PO. They're sitting in the back playing some Dejeric.
Yeah, they're having this lovely argument, and I really like the writing here. I think it's spot on for their characters. And C-3PO is saying, how dare you, you rolling scrap bin? But then the writers use this phrase, you droids better get set. We're approaching warp time. What is warp time? Is this new in the Star Wars universe?
What Han is saying is you better get ready to do the time warp again.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he was just watching Rocky Horror.
And Chicago, apparently. Razzle Dazzle. And the time warp.
Well, this is going to break out into a musical. Take a step to your left, take a step to your right, put your hands on your hips, and let's do the time warp again.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, Silas Tagge has launched an Omega Frost conductor tower to a nearby planet, or it's an asteroid. It's an asteroid, okay, because they're going to go through the asteroid corridor.
Right.
So what he just did was launch this Omega Frost conductor to this asteroid, because these conductors are going to be the generator that generates this Omega Frost weapon.
Right.
So Silas goes on to explain that he knows of the Rebel fleet's plan, and he's already used his Frost weapon to freeze the corridor, and now plans on freezing the fleet. Now,
Wait a minute.
Why would you want to
Alert people?
Yeah, all right.
That sounds
You're
weird.
telegraphing your weapon here, because you want to wait until later on, because when the Rebel fleet comes into this corridor, they see all these asteroids frozen. They're not going to want to keep on going.
No, that's super weird.
You're giving you know what? Wake up, Baron Ormond Tagge, okay? Because Silas, you're not cutting it.
Mm-mm.
So then Imperial Officer Shanks, well, he boosts Silas's ego and says, with that victory, you'll be fulfilling Baron Tagge's ambition to replace Darth Vader in the Emperor's favor.
Exactly.
Oh, take it down a notch, Shanks.
Now, the way I read it, I think we were being shown what's his name, Silas wants to do with this corridor. I'm not sure if he already froze it. It's a little confusing.
Well, it's right there. It's all frozen.
Okay.
That's not like a thought bubble image.
Okay. Well, overall, though, whether they freeze it first or not, I feel like this is a really cool plan. And I applaud the writers for coming up with a compelling set of villains that don't involve Vader, yet are connected with him because they're competing with him for the Emperor's favor, which is a story we do see over and over again, even in the newer Darth Vader comics of 2015.
Right, very much so.
But it's nice that this comic, it's simple, again, because it lays out the bad guy's plot right here at the beginning, and now it's up to the good guys to try to get through it.
We cut to Luke in a TIE fighter that he stole to escape the Baron's ship, which we saw in the last issue, and knowing Luke may win the lightsaber battle against the Baron and then try to escape, Silas, well, he had drained the ship of energy, weapons, fuel, and communication services. He thinks 3 steps ahead. So he's a very smart villain. Mm-hmm. However, when the going gets tough, he's like General Grievous. He boots out.
I love it. Yes.
Now look at this on page 6. It looks like the TIE fighter is blasting a powerful red and yellow laser beam.
Mm-hmm. This is at this bottom panel here.
Yeah. But that is the TIE fighter's engine roaring. So I guess if it doesn't have that, it just looks like the fighter is sitting there. But it looks like it's a laser beam.
It is kind of
after
odd.
he just said that there's no laser energy in this fighter.
Did you get confused?
No, because they've done it before. They've done this kind of thing before. But don't do it red and yellow, the colors of a laser beam. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right, knowing that this TIE fighter is a death trap, Luke ejects with a pavow.
Whoa, look at that.
Then suddenly the TIE fighter blows up. Question. Did Luke self-destruct the ship, or was it hit by something?
That is a panel that looks funny, but I think you have to take all 4 of these panels on this page together, because then it cuts to Luke ejecting.
Right, but first, I want to know how the TIE fighter blew up.
He smashed into the asteroid there.
Okay, where are you seeing this?
See, so
now, spoiler alert. Later on, Luke does say that the fighter was smashed by an asteroid, but just looking at it here.
Well, see how the asteroid can be however big it wants.
Oh, so it's plummeting down to the surface. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
What did you think?
I thought something just hit it in mid-space.
Right, and it could kind of look like that, but he even prefaces it before, the page before, saying that, this is heading for this asteroid.
Okay.
So I just figured that was hitting the asteroid.
There we go. I can sleep better tonight.
Yeah, and Corwin of Amber is saying, are those all perfectly spherical asteroids? Yes, Corwin of Amber. Yes. Yes, they are.
All right, from there, Luke uses the jetpack to fly through space and closes his eyes and lets the Force guide him in the right direction. So Luke is using the Force the way we use Waze.
Indeed. And I want to make a note for Corwin of Amber. Look at this panel right here on page 8. Beautiful, right? These perfectly spherical asteroids of different hues of pink and orange and purple and green. Oh my gosh, it so reminds me of like the 70s, I don't know, even just roller skating ring. That's what it reminds me of, like in blacklight. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Oh yeah, you could win. At certain carnivals, you can win this as a velvet painting.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, next time we're at a carnival, I'm gonna try to win one of these. And when the vendor says, "I don't know what you're talking about," listen to our last article or pick up issue 34, Thunder and the Stars. I like to make things complicated whenever I go out. All right, now we cut to the Falcon and the Rebel fleet as they drop out of hyperspace and head right for the asteroid corridor. In the cockpit, Chewie, he's looking at the reader because he knows what's coming.
Leia plants a kiss right on Han Solo for luck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Let's just zoom in here, you guys.
Yeah, she does this a lot with the guys in Star Wars. She did it to Luke, does it to Han. Chewie's like, okay, what? Can I get some luck over
Where's
here?
my kiss?
Well, there they call it luck.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess one in the same. One
All
in
right,
the same.
I'm going to read Leia's line here. You ready?
Okay.
If you're as good as you always say you are, you shouldn't need this, flyboy. Mwah! But good luck anyway.
Now, is it read with that kind of attitude?
Of course it is.
Okay. All right. I love it. Whew, getting a little hot under the collar here, so I think maybe this is a good time for a commercial break.
Okay.
We'll return after these messages.
Now, this Hostess Marvel crossover ad featured in this issue is titled The Human Torch in A Hot Time in the Old Town. All right, Sarah, let's do a dramatic reading on this.
Okay.
All right, you be the flamethrower and fireman number 1.
Excellent. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. We open on the Human Torch. He's reading the Daily Bugle. The headline reads, "Villain threatens to send city up in smoke," which by the way is my favorite Cheech and Chong movie. Now, there's a great subtlety here. Check it out. He's the Human Torch, but yet he's got Johnny Storm hands.
Okay.
Johnny Storm's is the alter ego.
Oh.
But if you were holding the newspaper with flame hands, what would
right.
happen?
It would go up in flames.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what a great subtlety. He's got the human hands.
Right. Makes sense.
Now the torch flies high above the city, which is ablaze. And Torch says, "Great balls of fire! Flamethrower wasn't kidding. It's time to fight fire with fire." Meanwhile, 2 firemen are working very hard to extinguish the flames.
Fireman number 1. Look, the torch!
And fireman number 2 says, "I'm glad he's on our side." The 2 fiery foes confront each other before Flamethrower's lab.
Your fiery flames hold no terror for me, Torch.
The Torch throws down a pack of Twinkies to his fiery enemy. "Don't get hot under your collar." Hey, that's what I just did. "Get your hands on these Hostess Twinkies cakes."
Ah.
Flamethrower stops his terrorizing to enjoy these creamy-filled snacks.
Irresistible golden sponge cake. Creamed filling too. Twinkies really light my fire. Oh, it's funny.
I think Jim Morrison in The Doors sang about that. Torch says Flamethrower's evil plans have gone up in smoke. He loves Cheech and Chong as much as I do.
Fireman number 1. Thanks to the torch and Twinkies cakes.
Flamethrower is all tied up. However, he still manages to keep eating the Twinkies. He's got a big smile on his face, and I'm not really sure he knows he's been captured.
No, he's enjoying his Twinkie.
Mm-hmm. The Human Torch takes off and flies off to another adventure.
You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess Twinkies cakes.
All right, so...
Who calls Twinkies cakes? That's super weird.
I don't know. I guess Hostess does.
Now, Corwin of Amber says, how does he manage to not toast the Twinkies, though? The flamethrower.
The wrapping is flame retardant.
Oh, I think you would like toasted Twinkies. That might be fun.
Oh, great. Guess what I want right now? A toasted, cream-filled Twinkie cake.
Ew.
All right, so Sarah, what did you learn from this thought-provoking story about morals and ethics?
I don't know about morals and ethics, but I did learn that if you have flame powers, it might be good of you to practice enough so that you can still hold a newspaper in your hand while you're flaming. What about you? What did you learn, Richard?
I learned that having two fiery characters fight each other is redundant unless you can use that to your advantage, which they didn't. They should have used Submariner or even called an Aquaman.
Oh.
That wouldn't have made any sense because that's a DC character, but you need a water-based character. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't buying any of this, and giving up your freedom is worth a 2-pack of Twinkies cakes.
Nice.
I mulled over this all last night. I couldn't get to sleep. Yeah, it just spoke to me on so many different levels.
Well, I love it. Thank you for sharing that Twinkie ad with us.
Well, thank you for that dramatic reading as Flamethrower.
All right, so we are going to head back to our story.
All right, now we cut back to Shanks, who's a little nervous that they are too close to the Omega Frost weapon, and he's concerned they might get caught up in the freeze as well as the Rebel fleet. Silas tells Shanks to have someone move the Baron close to the action so he can record the weapon interaction. None of that makes any sense whatsoever.
No.
Because Silas still knows the Baron is still in shock and unconscious.
Right. Yeah. Also, he was just talking about how, wait, are we far enough away? And now he wants to send someone closer.
But Silas, well, he just wants to record this and show the Emperor the success of his Omega Frost weapon. And then later post it on TikTok.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm sure the Emperor will be very impressed if he gets like 1 million subscribers.
Whoa.
So they're really thinking ahead on this issue. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Luke is also heading towards the asteroid corridor. He sees one of the conductor towers and he knows he can get to it, but doesn't know how he's going to slow down before slamming into the asteroid where the conductor is planted. So Luke ignites his lightsaber with a
Zamp
and plunges toward the tower. Now this is a great panel of Luke flying through space with his lightsaber leading the way. That is one of the greatest panels I've ever seen in my life. Now he's using the power of the blade to become a counterforce to his own speed, and by clicking the lightsaber on and off, it's gonna make for a rough but more or less concentrated descent.
Right.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So
Is he using it like a sail?
Well, no, the opposite of a sail. So basically he's saying that the force of pushing out the blade is causing that opposite reaction. Or
He's already going toward the asteroid. He's worried now about slowing down and slamming into the asteroid.
Right, so he needs to slow down.
So I think when he turns the lightsaber on, it acts like a sail.
No, it's acting as a force going against his momentum. So he's going fast, he needs to slow down.
Right.
So by turning on the blade, for some reason that's pushing a force the opposite direction of what he's doing.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Yes, however, it's explained not very well here. And from this panel, I took it to mean that he's using his lightsaber like he's heading towards the asteroid, and he puts out his lightsaber so the lightsaber hits the asteroid first and not him. Like it breaks his fall.
But he's going very fast. Look at the speed line.
I know.
So that's not going to do much.
No, but
I like your idea, your initial idea that when he turns it on, there's like a force that's pushing him back, almost like a sail. So I guess we're both right, but you're more right than I am, as always.
Nice.
Now, Luke explains to himself and the readers in an inner thought monologue that the Baron tricked him into broadcasting information that would bring his friends here into this Omega Frost trap. We saw that in the last issue. Mm-hmm. So what is it all?
It's a trap!
Ooh.
Now, for Luke, this is personal, because if his friends get frozen, it's all on him. So now he's got to destroy the tower. He swings the lightsaber with a
Rap!
However, The tower has a force field.
Ah, how sad. So yeah, then Silas, he sees Luke out on the asteroid, and before he can manage to damage the tower, he gives the command to activate the Omega Frost weapon.
Oh, Silas, too early.
Ah!
Yeah, once again, he's going to give himself away. He knows nothing about the element of surprise.
Also, I want to note here, the asteroid corridor in this panel down below is not frozen. So I think that previous panel when the guys were talking about it, the Imperials,
right?
I think that was just foreshadowing. Like, this is what they want to do, and it was showing you.
Or that was a test somewhere else.
Possibly.
That would make more sense.
Okay, possibly.
Okay, all right. Once again, we're both right.
Corwin of Amber. If Han gets frozen, it would be foreshadowing.
That's foreshadowing. Finally, foreshadowing pays off. All right, so the Millennium Falcon and the fleet are at the halfway mark in the asteroid corridor. Leia says that one of the ships was badly damaged and has to turn back. Now, why is that not a good plan?
Because if they're halfway through, they have to go halfway back. So you might as well go halfway forward.
Exactly. So I think we like the artwork more than the actual storytelling.
That was very silly.
Suddenly, Leia and Han see that the asteroids ahead have turned into ice.
Oh.
So now what's going on here? Oh, that was just done.
That was just done
okay,
because
right.
Luke...
Because Silas said, you know what? All right, before Luke damages this conductor tower, let's just go ahead and activate the weapon.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. Then Han says, he's stealing Admiral Akbar's line.
It's a trap!
We don't actually get to see Han and Leia. We just see the Falcon
leading
the ships.
Did you notice that a lot of time when Han and Leia are speaking, the artist draws it from the outside in space? So we're just seeing the Millennium Falcon. They do that a lot. And I'm thinking maybe because it's easier to draw outer space and then a little Millennium Falcon than having to draw
People.
Han and Leia and Chewie all over again.
I think so.
I noticed that pattern here.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something that happens. And, okay, so just a thought here. When I was reading this comic, and Luke is at the base of one of these Omega Frost Towers, and the Omega Frost Towers have gone off, shouldn't Luke be frozen? Like, what's up with that? Yeah. I'm very worried about Luke.
I'm very confused as to how this Omega Frost weapon works. Do you know what they need? Omega.
Ooh.
Yeah. Call her from the Bad Batch.
I love it.
All right, now Corwin of Amber is saying, why is the ice dripping off the asteroids? Where is that gravity coming from? That's a good question.
That is a really good question. Something I didn't even think about while reading it. Wow.
All right, now back on the Tagge ship, Silas is patting himself on the back. He's very proud of himself. But Shanks, mood breaker Shanks, well, he brings him back and reminds him that Skywalker is still out there and hasn't given up. So Luke cuts into the asteroid, knowing the force field wouldn't be below the surface where the bottom of the tower is stuck. Oh, okay. So they got to plant that into the asteroid. So he's going underneath. Okay, I like that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So what happens? Well, Luke destroys the Omega Frost Tower.
Because he swings his lightsaber with a Zadak.
Exactly. So then we cut back inside the Falcon cockpit. What's happening, Richard?
Well, Leia has her hand gently resting on Han's shoulder.
Nice.
Just saying. Just saying. Now, back on the Tagge ship, Silas is ticked off that Skywalker has messed everything up for him. And he races out to get the Baron. I still think he's forgetting that the Baron is unconscious. Shanks, well, he orders to get the ship out of there. If the rebels have seen the communication, well, they're going to know where they are.
Okay.
Because the Tagge ship has been communicating with other ships.
Right.
And so the rebels had intercepted any of those communications. They're going to know, hey, that Tagge ship is somewhere around here. We know they're responsible for the Omega Frost. Let's get them. So
was Silas on a different ship than the Tagge ship?
Same thing. It's the mining explorer.
Right. So what I'm confused about is the rebels now in this next panel right here are attacking one of the ships.
That's the Tagge ship, the big green ship.
Is that the ship we've been on the whole time with
Yes,
Silas
yes.
and General Tagge? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with Silas and Shanks
Right.
and the rest of the banana splits.
Okay, because I was a little confused here. So I guess they were just sending random signals to other random ships, and that's how the rebels were able to pinpoint where they were.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
However, it's too late.
Oh, yes.
The rebel fleet is racing towards the Tagge ship.
This panel is amazing.
Oh, it is amazing.
Look at this panel. And
This would make another great black velvet painting. You would win at the Topps Field Fair.
am just seeing a black lit roller skate ring.
Rink?
Yes. Rink?
Yeah.
Ring? Okay. Well, I call it both.
Well, it is a ring inside of a rink.
Yes.
Yeah, look at all these lovely colors. Now, Corwin is also asking, what is the difference in the propulsion systems between the red and orange and the red and yellow thrusts?
If
Because
we
they all have different thrusts.
if we ever have some of these
You know what?
artists on the show, we'll ask them.
Let's get this on Star Warsologies. They'll break this down.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, we'll ask Star
But
Warsologies.
now, what's the difference between the blue planet, the orange planet? I guess these are asteroids.
They're asteroids. They're not planets.
yes.
Yeah.
They don't have those little craters on them, so I don't look at them as asteroids.
So really, the difference is that the asteroids are emanating different
Heat signatures.
heat or energy. What is that called when it's? Oh gosh, like different elements into space. Like one has like a lot of magnesium or something. One has a lot of elements. There you go. Different elements.
Well, this is just trippy. Mm-hmm. It's just very, very trippy.
Too late.
All right, now Silas is shaking his brother, the Baron, and trying to wake him, and he screams at him, I know you've been given extra drugs, but that was so that you wouldn't come around in time to spoil my handling of things. All right, put the brakes on. Did he just say he was given extra drugs
Yep.
in a kid's comic?
In the 70s. I mean, no,
In the-
I'm sorry. It was the 80s.
Now
But
it's
still.
the 80s. Yeah, this is the first issue of the 80s. But still, this series would not see the next issue by today's standards.
No, probably not.
Wow. Who Jim Shooter, he was editing this. He should have caught that.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, now, the Baron wakes up and Silas says, I need you, Orman. It's not logical, but I need your help. All right, once again, put the brakes on. Silas just made the top of my jerkiest Star Wars characters list.
How is that?
He's saying, I need you, brother. I need you, Orman. It's not logical, but I need your help.
Okay, you will never believe what this is making me think of. This is making me think of Pride and Prejudice. When Mr. Darcy refuses, or when Elizabeth refuses Mr. Darcy, Mr. Darcy proposes to her and says, well, against all logic and my family and everything, I've decided to love you and I want you to be my wife. Would you take that proposal? Would you say yes?
If I were Baron Orman,
Yeah.
or me, neither.
Exactly.
Neither.
So this is what it reminds me of.
It's a push and pull. Ugh, which is why he made the top of my jerkiest Star Wars character list. Mm-hmm. All right, and then the narration reads, then there is thunder in the stars. Roll credits. And the Tagge ship is being pummeled by the blockade runners. Mm-hmm. You had it coming.
All right, now a TIE fighter sees Luke on the asteroid's surface. He's gasping for his last bit of air in his suit. He has no strength or energy to move. The ship targets Luke, but suddenly a laser blast hits the TIE dead center and it explodes in a ball of flame. The lines here, it's a nice bit of poetry. The narration reads, a target rendered totally helpless as he fights for the last bits of air his suit provides. Helpless, but not without help. And that's when Han rolls in to save the day in a New Hope moment.
Very much so. Now we cut back to the interior of the Falcon's cockpit, and Han says, unfurl your brow, princess. I've never missed a last-minute rescue yet. Despite my cynical soul, even I enjoy an occasional happy ending.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Han saying this?
Nope, not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. But wait a minute. The end. Next issue, Dark Lord's Gambit.
All right, let's read just a few of these comments here. Daniel Contreras, welcome. He says, I think the early comics code also forbade mention of drugs. This must have slipped in between comics code and the Just Say No 80s. Well, this was before, I would say, the Just Say No and all the AIDS stuff.
That was 1981 with Nancy Reagan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right after Ronald had become president in 1980. Then she...
right?
1980.
Okay.
Then she started her Just Say No to Drugs campaign.
Right.
If only she were there just a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. All right, so Sarah, give us your afterthoughts now. Now that we've read the whole issue, we had a chance to break it down, think it through. What are your reactions?
Okay, so I really felt that I admired Luke's journey here in his spacesuit. His determination really showed through in this episode. And I feel like the writers are also doing a pretty good job of getting into each character's voice, especially C-3PO and the occasional Han line with your worshipfulness and everything. But some of those Han lines, no. They're getting there. And I am a little sad that we didn't get those same artists we had a couple issues back that really worked on the likenesses of Han and Leia.
That was the annual.
Oh,
so that had a whole different staff of artists.
A whole team, yeah. And they worked on Leia's eyes to get Carrie Fisher's eyes and like Luke's face, Mark Hamill's face. It was so good. And I just wish we could get that back.
Wait another 70 issues.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to be a while.
Okay. Well, overall, I would give this issue a solid 7 out of 10 FORPS.
Very nice. Daniel Contreras, he writes in the Sky Chat, can't wait for you guys to get to issue number 67. My absolute favorite Star Wars comic ever.
And that's called The Darker. Ooh.
Oh, that's going to be another 33 issues.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
going to have to wait a while, Daniel.
Years.
Like 3 years.
Yeah. So,
all right.
For me, I really like the simplicity of this issue. It all comes together very nicely. Going back and now reading it aloud and breaking it down, I really see the trouble they had with a lot of the story points. But on initial reading, it was fine and fun. And it wasn't clear if Silas and the Baron and Shanks, if they made it out alive. Because in the end, there is that shot of the rebel ships attacking the Tagge ship, but it looked like they just cut the ship in half with a couple of laser bolts.
Okay.
Which means they could still be out there, and I hope so. I hope so, because I want to see Baron in future issues. I want to see his brother. I think they're great villains, the greatest villains we've had in this comic series that is new and original.
Right. Okay.
And I really like Baron's vendetta against Darth Vader, the most powerful being in the galaxy, and he's got a vendetta against him. We got to see that play out. All right, Sarah, what is your favorite line of dialogue from this issue?
All right. I'm going to go with one of Han Solo's lines in the very opening page here. This is a bit trickier than my run-of-the-mill spice smuggling razzle-dazzle. Because it just made me think of Han in Chicago. And that he should have been on stage. Give him the old razzle-dazzle. So I liked what it made me think of.
So he was channeling Richard Gere.
Indeed.
Okay. I'm going to go with another Han Solo line in this very same scene where he says, I'm not used to playing leader to a flock of rebel war wagons. Rebel war wagons. That should have been a Kenner toy. I love that. What is your favorite panel?
Ooh, I get to go first. Well, why don't you go first?
Okay, go to page 10, and this is the panel where Luke is flying through space with his lightsaber leading the way. Oh, that should have been the cover.
Yes, it should have.
Drop the mic and drop your lightsaber right there.
Not only does it have Luke flying through space, it also has the awesome round asteroids. Mm-hmm. Super cool. And I love how they do space in these issues. They're fun. I like it.
Now I just want to go and touch it like a black velvet painting.
Yeah, I know. So when I was reading this issue, that panel immediately jumped out to me as well. I think it is the unequivocal best panel. However, I do really love the panel on page 15 right here, which is the ships. As much as I don't like ships as much, this is really cool with the ships in space with all the round asteroids surrounding it. And yeah, it just looks like a black light or a black velvet painting.
Looks like they're really surrounded by bubbles.
Yeah, it does. It's just so fun. Like, take that out of context and get rid of the word bubbles. It doesn't even look like Star Wars almost. It just looks like some psychedelic thing.
Yeah, apparently those artists maybe saw one clip of a Rebel blockade runner and said, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, now, Sarah, what is your most non-Star Wars moment or line of dialogue?
All right, we're going to go to page 3 for that one. And this is Han saying, would you like to read this?
Oh, sure would. Lady, I don't have lives to spare. I'm not about to waste the one I got butting heads with an asteroid.
Now, the reason I like this, or the reason I think it's the most un-Star Wars moment, is because what happens in Empire Strikes Back?
He butts heads
with an asteroid field. Yes. Yep. Yeah, he's like, he goes straight into the asteroid field when everyone's like, you're crazy. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and I'm sure Lucas didn't like the fact that a lot of these Marvel comics were taking bits from the Empire trailer and using them in their comics, because they also used an ice planet.
Oh.
Yeah, they also used other elements for their comics.
Right.
All right, for me, I would say my most non-Star Wars moment happens to be when Silas is shaking his brother and trying to wake him, and he screams, I know you've been given drugs. I know you've been given extra drugs, but that was so you wouldn't come around in time to spoil my handling of things.
Wow.
Just stab him through the heart with a pencil.
Right?
It wouldn't do as much damage. But the fact that whole extra drugs, he should have said like extra spice, something more Star Warsian, not extra drugs. So that is my most non-Star Wars moment up to this issue right now. The last 34 issues.
Wow. Mm-hmm. My goodness.
Now, normally from here, we go on to a Star Wars letter column letter. Unfortunately, there weren't any Star Wars letters in this issue.
Aw, but we do have a shout out. We got a lovely package from Tasha, and she sent so many cool things, but one thing she sent, it's very apparent that she listens very carefully to classic Marvel Star Wars comics and watches it and sees that... Wait, Richard, can I see this issue of the Marvel comics?
Right here?
Yeah, this
one.
Nope.
Nope. What have we learned? No.
She sees that Richard never lets me touch his comics. And she knows that I was born between some issues. So, in this package came 2 comics, which I am touching right now.
Those are all yours. Hey, there she is right there. She's
oh my gosh, perfect!
All right, so every classic Marvel Star Wars comics, we always say that Sarah was born in between issues 47 and 48.
Right. So Tasha sent me perfect copies of issue 47. Yeah. And 48 here. Hold on, 48. Right? And also with this package came this.
Gloves. White gloves.
And we were going, what? And then I realized I get to handle my comics with the white gloves.
Wow, that is hitting the nail right on the head right there.
Isn't that hilarious? Oh my gosh.
So you can unwrap these comics.
You know what? I can do whatever I want with these.
But you know what? Just for all of our sakes, and so that I don't blow a gasket, just touch them with the white gloves, please. Please. Do that for me.
You know what? I'm going to open the white gloves.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Get to see an unboxing.
Yep. Unboxing of white gloves.
All right, go ahead and put them on. Put them on.
Okay. Oh, I want to handle the Leia one. Oh, nice. Okay, here we go, guys. All right. This is so funny. Oh, I love them.
Make sure it's snapped.
Why?
Just because.
I can
You know
do
what?
my own gloves.
Gotta hermetically seal your hands.
It's really hard to
All right,
snap your
fine,
other
fine.
glove. This is, look. It's purple and pink. I was drawn to it. The gloves were meant to be a joke. You probably shouldn't really use them. Oh.
No. She should. She should.
All right, hold on. We're gonna. I'm opening it. Well, we love the joke, Tasha. It's so cute.
Easy.
Oh my gosh. Whoa, that's some old paper. Wow, it looks so different from my iPad. Yeah, so there you go. Cool. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to put that back in. Be very careful.
Easy.
Which way are you supposed to do
Other
it?
way. Can I do it, please?
No.
Please,
No,
can I do it?
You're not allowed to touch these.
Oh, how ironic.
I did it. Aww. This is cool.
With that, we want to thank everyone for joining us on
Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics,
where we just went through issue number 34, Thunder
in the Stars.
So we'll see everyone back when we cover issue 35, Dark Lord's Gambit.
Awesome. We want to thank Rob Dellinger for the main theme song, and you can check out Rob at alpharhythmkings.com.
Now, please check out all the rest of the shows on the Skywalking Network,
Skynet,
like Talking Apes,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
the Max Effects Podcast,
Resilience Squadron Podcast,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
the YouTube show Collectopolis, and our new YouTube series,
Today in Star Wars History,
as well as our flagship show, Skywalking Through Neverland.
You can find them all at skywalkingthroughneverland.com and the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel. And as a reminder, classic Marvel Star Wars comics will now be on YouTube only from now on. So we will record live and then we're going to upload an edited version later on in the week. And that's the one you'll be able to watch and rewatch and listen to all the time.
A lot of people just said they caught the tail end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the edited show comes up, we'll take off this
Right.
raw version.
Yeah, but until then, you can watch this raw version as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, on our Today in Star Wars History videos, there's a playlist there on our YouTube channel. Be aware that we are going to do a giveaway next week. A very exciting Life Day inspired giveaway. We've partnered with Luminous Beings Limited, and they have... Should we tell them what it is? We'll tell them what it is.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what it is a... You know how they have advent calendars, like Lego Star Wars advent calendars, Lego, where you open up something and get to put together? Well, Luminous Beings Limited has done a Life Day mystery box countdown calendar. It is so exciting. It's 17 days of exciting things.
Of Life Day celebrations.
Of Life Day celebrations, complete with an orb, a glowing orb.
So every day we get to open up a new prize.
So next week, we will be doing a giveaway with our Today in Star Wars History videos of one of those mystery boxes to one lucky person who always comments and subscribes on our videos. And then in November, during our Today in Star Wars History videos, we will be unboxing one per day up to the 17th.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
And the first one's going to be one of those lighted orbs.
Yeah.
We know that because the package was round.
Yeah, she did some previews too on her
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh,
so
I can't wait
yes.
for that.
You can see previews of that also on our Instagram at Skywalking Pod.
So thanks to Luminous Beings for sending us a package,
Yeah.
a mystery box, and an additional one to give away.
Yes, we are so excited. All right, Skywalkers. Well, if you are part of the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon, we are releasing bonus content on a weekly basis. And on our YouTube videos that are produced, you are now in the credits of those because you are our producers. So head to skywalkingforce.com, check out all the different levels available, and thank you profusely to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
We love you so much.
Yes.
All right, Sarah, if anyone wants to reach out to us, how would they go about doing that?
So you can find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod on most of the platforms. And you can also find us on Facebook. Just search Skywalking Through Neverland.
All right, now for classic Marvel Star Wars comics, this is Richard.
And this is Sarah saying, Zorp!
Vatang!
FTOOM!
VOOORP!
Love it!
And don't want to butt heads with asteroids.
No.